We pretty much.
Well, we back. And Brothers from Inglewood podcast. Once again, coming to you live and direct with my co-host Charlie Mack. We got some special guests in the house. The Motons.
Okay.
You know, not Motown.
We heard that though.
Yeah.
Hey, if it was Motown, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
We would be on something else.
Right. So I'm gonna throw it to Charlie Mack and let him holler at you, and then we're gonna announce the topic for the day.
We back in the building, y'all. Once again, we back. But this time we got a foursome going on.
Yeah.
Not the kind of foursome you freak boys and freak girls think. This is a family show. It ain't that kind of foursome. Before we get started on this foursome, though, I just want to let y'all know we don't own the right to this music, you did. But we gonna show a groove to it. Ain't that right, Cam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what y'all think, Motown? Can we groove to it?
Oh, we can.
I think so.
Okay,
That sounds
so
good.
without further ado, we're gonna get this thing going. So go ahead and strap them seatbelts on. Make them real nice and tight. We about to get this car. Push it.
Well said, bro. Well said. Well, man, this is
Blast it.
Yeah, this is a blessing. This is so exciting to be in the studio once again and to have family.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's crazy the stuff that we're about to get into.
Right.
But before we do, I just want to say, thanks to the Coalesce Group, thanks to Fruit Off the Vine Clothing Apparel for allowing us to attach our brand to yours, and to you, our viewers and listening audience. We thank you for following us on this platform. Our topic today, before we even introduce our guest, our topic today is going from boys to men.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Going
Yes,
from
sir.
boys to men.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
I got it.
Yeah, because
I
I think Charlie and I had a brief discussion about our thing a few months ago, and to have you guys here, brothers, and to be able to share and give some insight on what your journey was like, it's a blessing to see that happen. We got Chris Moton and Todd Moton in the house.
No, not Motown. Motown.
Yes, sir.
Exactly,
Thanks for
exactly.
having
There you
us.
go. There you go.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having
And
us.
so I don't really know where to begin, but we're gonna dialogue today.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
Y'all are brothers too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been knowing y'all for so long. I don't know if I can really imagine, like, some of the stuff that I've gone through in Inglewood. I think a lot of it wouldn't have happened without you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's part of the journey. Yes,
yeah,
right.
so it's part of the path that we all took, and I'm glad it kind of intersected.
Yeah.
I mean, but I've always considered you guys my brothers.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yeah. We've always held you guys in high regards as well.
Yeah. So that really opens up with the first question. What was it like for you guys growing up in Inglewood?
You go ahead first, Todd.
Hey, growing up, man, I think it was. I enjoyed every minute of it. I mean, I think the camaraderie that went with it. I think the things that I've learned and the loyalty I got from Inglewood. You know what I mean? I mean, with the people that we met and we did. I mean, we came from the jungles first.
Yeah.
I mean, because we didn't get there till what?
Oh,
77,
were you guys in the jungle?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was like
man.
76. Yeah, we
really?
moved to 76.
I
Yeah.
didn't
So
know
I
that.
mean, so we knew the path.
Oh, okay. I didn't
And,
know that.
so coming up had different challenges and things that way, and you kind of had to earn some stripes
Right.
out there. They weren't giving nothing free in Inglewood.
Well,
I'll
it's,
tell you.
and we gonna get to one of the topics. Yeah, especially
I'm gonna get ahead of myself.
especially two pretty boys growing up in the hood.
you
I mean,
know.
y'all, I'm sure that people underestimated you guys because you guys had the lighter skin and the straighter hair with it, but they didn't really know you guys' roots.
Oh, I
You
would
guys knew you guys'
Oh, I would
roots,
say.
but
I
and
would
people
say.
close to you guys knew you guys' roots. But other people, the outside, like, who is these dudes or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're right when you say you guys had to earn your stripes.
It's funny because a little bit earlier before we got on, you was like, yeah, you was little, but this dude was the dude, out there. I won't say campaigning, but leading the way in the streets, right?
That's what the brothers
And
do.
you know what I mean.
That's what older
And
brothers
he can
do.
kind of tell you what he did, but I kind of followed in him, and we met the guys like yourselves, and we went, and it became a journey of men,
Right.
Boys to men, like
Right.
you just said.
Right.
So we've seen some good things come out of that,
And some bad
and we've
things.
seen some guys that didn't
Yeah.
always make it to where
Right.
we've kind of get to right
Yeah.
now to
Yeah.
say, hey, you know what, the journey doesn't stop because what they think about Inglewood.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
people say Inglewood, they think that it's
next
not a
thing-
good place. Hey, do it. It got its parts.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel good in there.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you,
Definitely.
Chris? I mean, what was your experience in terms of from like middle school and then when you got to Morningside or whatever? I mean, how was your experience growing up?
You know what? I remember like the first day that we moved to Inglewood when we was actually putting furniture in the house.
Oh, really? You remember that?
I remember the first day.
And you guys and you guys had one of the newer houses on the block. I remember that.
See, but at that time when we came in, it was still vacant lots.
Was it really,
It
Chris?
was empty homes. Empty homes.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Because remember the transition. I don't want to jump in. The transition. Remember, it was white people.
Of
in
course.
there.
Right, yeah, when we got there it was like that too.
And then
Yeah.
what we're gonna talk about a little later is how we fit into that. But there was still white families
Right.
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
But
It was.
what I'm talking about is actual and physical
Okay.
empty lots
Really?
still on the block.
Oh,
That's
I
true,
didn't know
'cause
that.
down towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know
They
that.
made a park out of that.
They made a park out
Yeah,
of.
I remember that.
Yeah.
There was a sitting park next to Jay and Randy Shankler's house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It
A little
was.
further down, going past Center Park, right?
Closer to Prairie.
Right.
Yeah. Closer to
Right.
Prairie.
Because remember, we on the ones right
Right,
now.
right, right,
We on the ones, 111.
Now, I don't know if you guys remember Demetrius Bell.
Yeah.
Come on now. You know what that-
yeah,
Come on now.
well,
Come
yeah,
on now.
I mean,
Yeah. But they had the newer house on the other end.
Yeah, and it
So
was
that
good.
was-
It was good.
So that was a vacant lot for a time.
Oh,
too.
was it really?
Yeah,
See,
so-
I didn't know that.
And there
Yeah,
was,
man.
so there was still vacant lots on the block.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
But when we moved in, the first day that we moved in, I had a fight with Darren Cunningham.
No, I remember Darren Cunningham. I remember Darren Cunningham. You had a fight with him, Chris?
Yeah, I beat him up.
Let's not put them hands on him.
Yeah, I mean, because
Party challenge.
it was different because, like you grew up on Murphyville over there in Baldwinville.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it was almost like, the older dudes over there, I mean, it was like Don King.
Right.
We were talking about, oh yeah, you gonna fight the dude.
Oh, yeah, there was like promoters.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
Hey,
They were promoters?
Hey, y'all too. Let's see.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Yeah, you gonna fight the dude that's closest to your
Oh,
age.
really?
Yeah, so-
Sized up.
Wow.
What do you got?
So, like
Oh,
for me,
wow,
like the
wow.
dude that was closest to my age was like 3 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
EB?
And I wasn't like I
It's
wasn't-
tall and big as you are now.
No,
Right.
I was a little dude.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I
you
don't want to
said
say
that
dude's name, but the dude that I had to fight ended up playing basketball and football for Verb, and ended up getting a football scholarship and all this kind of stuff. So I mean,
Oh, wow. He was a reputable dude.
he was a reputable dude.
Oh,
and
wow.
Obviously.
He was good at what he did.
I mean, but just in terms of, once we got past some of that,
Okay.
and getting the chance just to meet some of the dudes, and if we just talk about the block,
Okay.
like we talked about the other day, we had Alan Cavendish, who ended up being he's
Yeah.
a basketball coach now.
He
Prominent.
St. Anthony right now.
Yeah, he's
St.
doing great.
Yeah.
He's just saying that-
Educator too. He's
Yeah,
doing
sure.
great.
Educator. He got a basketball scholarship.
Okay.
We had Randy Shanklin.
Oh, that's my boy.
And Randy ended up
Rest
being,
in peace. Randy.
No,
Jay.
Jay.
That's Jay.
That's
Jay.
Jay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, did Jay pass away?
Yeah, Jay
Jay
passed
passed
away.
away.
Yeah, Jay
Music
passed away.
man.
Recently?
It was before the pandemic.
It was before.
Yeah,
yeah.
but,
So-
he was a
so-
music
yeah,
man.
no,
He's a music man.
No, he was an athlete too.
Yeah, yeah,
Basketball and
yeah.
football.
Oh, yes, sir.
He was actually better in football.
Yeah.
Shit, I thought he was good on that music.
No, he was.
Yeah, that was his love.
Yeah.
That's
I
he
didn't
left
know-
it all
I
for
didn't
that.
know
Yeah,
Jay
Yeah.
passed.
yeah. Jay
I didn't know
passed.
Jay
Yeah.
Had a
passed.
heart attack
Yeah, I
in Arizona.
Man, didn't know Jay
man.
passed.
So Jay, we had Jay down there and Randy, talented dudes.
Right.
And then we had, so if you just went from Crenshaw to Prairie, we had a lot of, we had Rod Harvey, who ended up being a pretty good quarterback and,
Yeah.
and played at El
Yeah.
Camino, was
Yeah.
a star over there.
Yeah.
So if you just went from Prairie to Crenshaw on the street,
Right.
we saw
Yeah.
a lot of star players there, but you know
Yeah.
what? But that was true of every block.
And the
Right.
Suttons. The Suttons lived
Right.
at
We talked about that.
You know,
Yeah.
on your
About
block.
the block people play. Yeah,
See,
yeah.
but
Remember
then,
Demery?
Yeah.
He lived because Brian was my grade.
yeah,
You know, and he was a great quarterback.
yeah.
You know,
But they always go to
Yeah.
Morningside.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Parents had the opportunity to send them other places, so
Right.
that's when Verb was popular.
Right.
People started sending their kids to Sarah,
Right.
St. Bernard's,
Hawthorne.
Hawthorne,
Yeah.
and
education was good.
yeah. I mean, education was good at Morningside too. It just,
I agree.
I think that when you have a choice, and as a parent, when you take a look at the demographics.
Yeah.
When the demographic is different, you think that you're putting your kids in a situation that's a little bit better. When
Yeah.
Right.
in the years that I spent
Yeah.
in it, I mean, what it really ends up being is that the kids that are successful in any schools are the ones whose parents put their time in with them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but
Yeah.
but then from living there and then actually expanding and moving on from 111th to 110th, going
Right.
south to Imperial, stopping at Imperial.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right. You better stop right there.
Yeah.
You better stop right there.
Let's stop right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Probably gun.
You need a pass to go across the
Right.
Imperial, brother.
And just moving on,
And we talked about the Imperial, remember the theater?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
see,
Chase
that's,
from there.
Oh, right.
no, I'm gonna tell you what was funny because me and Tom was like, we talked about, we were like, hey, we're gonna go over here, we're gonna talk poop and all that. So we said we remember like, cause you wasn't with us. It was just me, Charlie,
And Rodney.
Yeah.
and Ty.
Yeah.
And you remember up until a certain point, it was cool actually to go to the Imperial Theater.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was cool to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even remember. Was it?
Right.
But it was like Sweet Alice probably the last movie I saw there. It was tough to get in there, man.
and we used to go in
Snoop behind
there.
the door.
Yeah. We used to go in there and kick it and all that kind of stuff. But when we turned 12 or 13 years old, we weren't welcome over there no more.
Of course not. Because most of those guys got into middle school and they
See,
adjusted to the culture.
Yeah, we hadn't met him. We hadn't met him yet.
right.
And they was on the other school over there.
That was going to Q.
Bennett Q.
Bennett.
I mean,
We hadn't met him yet.
A few guys.
Yeah, but we
from
hadn't-
basketball
yeah,
and flag.
Yeah, but we
Yes,
hadn't
sir.
got
Yes, sir.
got to Monroe yet to where we met on the other side. That way,
Yeah.
And then like I said, I don't want to pass judgment. And them dudes, like the older dudes over there that was way older than us,
Yeah.
did not discriminate on age when it came down to
They
guys.
did their work.
Whooping some butt.
Right.
They just did their work. But kind of to go just from our perspective, I won't speak for Chris, but remember we didn't go to elementary school there.
Right.
Because we still stayed in the J's and we went to Hillcrest Elementary out over there,
Okay.
Right there off of,
right off of Dorsey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we were there. So our interactions were the block to block interaction.
I got
You know what I mean? So
I got
we knew the team.
Right.
We knew the Inglewood team, and that's kind of it was funny. We played against each other in those sporting
Right.
arenas. But man, it was I enjoyed it. I mean, the tough part was when we joined. So when I went to Monroe. Now I'm introduced to all or most of Inglewood in that area.
Of course.
Not
of
just
course.
the blocks.
Right.
Of course. That whole
all the
radius.
surrounding
Yeah, because
avenues.
we all had to go to the same.
Right.
So, I had my first encounter similar to his when he got there day one, so this dude had he done laid his footprints.
Right.
Everybody know, this dude right here. This
Right.
one.
Yeah.
Right. So, cats went, and I was a smaller cat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I got
Yeah.
tested a little
Yeah.
more often, let's say.
Yeah.
And then I tell you this day, I remember the cat's name was Robert, man. And, what he did to invoke the fight, I won't talk about it. He probably laugh when I talk about it. But what my brother told me, he said, man, today either I'm going to whoop on you
Are you gonna whoop on me?
or you going to do your business in the street.
Wow.
Winchell's 108. Right
Oh, Winter's right there on the corner.
in the
That
shop.
was a fighting
right on the
spot.
shop.
Yeah.
It sure was. Who?
Right, hey,
That's
coming
It
out
sure
of
was.
Hey.
Right there, which is in the little parking lot.
Right.
Meet me at
Right there.
Windsor.
But we in the
Wow, I
street.
forgot all about that.
We in the street.
Right in the middle of 108?
And Crenshaw.
No, in Crenshaw.
No,
The
Chris.
Crenshaw.
Oh, yeah.
Todd, in the middle of the Crenshaw.
We had to.
It wasn't organized.
Did you hear what he just said to me?
Back it up.
Did I tell you
There
what
was
he
no
just said?
organization. You'd be
Okay.
backing
I'll
up.
tell you
and
what he
look
just
up
said.
in the
What
middle
did
of
he
the
say?
street.
He said either you gonna whoop him or I'm gonna whoop you, and
Wow.
I'm gonna whoop. No, I got that wrong. I'm gonna whoop him,
Right.
and then I'm gonna whoop you, and
Wow.
I'm changing this for what we doing.
Wow.
No,
The words would have been different.
Wait a minute. And then I'm telling Big Dave that you punked out.
Oh no, you don't want to tell Big Dave. Oh no. He ain't going
so
for
that
it.
kind of goes into the question of what was it like being biracial?
Very cool.
Because it kind of ties into,
Getting
guys.
tested.
For me, yeah, some guys are trying to use any leverage they think they have to try to start trouble. You know what I'm saying? It could be because the girls like you. It could be because you dress different and dress better.
Right.
You know how guys are, kids in middle school.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They like,
because y'all both got your own experience with that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you're ready. You go ahead.
No, I'll go first.
I mean, because we right there.
Go ahead.
No,
That's it.
I'll tell you this, because this is the time when Lacoste was really popping.
Okay, right.
And
The alligator.
The alligator shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
And-
Chris for me. What?
Wait a minute. Flip of Hollywood.
Right. I remember the flip shirts.
You remember Chris?
We still wear the flip shirt.
So
Yeah.
this was really popping, and Charlie probably doesn't remember this, but and Ty wasn't really in on this, but what we used to do, we used to always like coordinate our gear, and we used to wear them skinny ties.
I remember.
I
remember.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah,
I remember.
Hey, have a briefcase. We
I remember.
Like 8th, 9th grade.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we walking around looking like professionals and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of lended to what you're saying, like, and then you're really like a new dude. So dudes haven't really heard your name around. So if you went to Center Park, it was dudes that went to Century Park.
Right.
That they may not know you.
Right.
Yeah.
But they heard of you.
Right.
Dudes that
They
won't
know,
learn.
right.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Other side of
They-
town.
they-
You know what I mean?
they-
Blocks.
They know
That's
the
what we talking
name,
about the
but they
blocks.
don't. Right.
Right.
You talked about the blocks.
Yeah, and then they're like, well, you know what? It's some dudes over here, and really nobody. There's some new dudes. They don't go to school here,
Right.
but we know them.
Right.
And I'm gonna get into that when I talk about when me and Hoop really chop it up
Okay.
a little bit, because even though we was tight with you, like Hoop was the dude that he was the almanac for sport.
Yeah, but
I know. He's like that
He
now.
balling
You
everywhere.
can
now.
ask him like from a guy that played sports 30 years ago. Hey man, what kindergarten did he go to? This dude know.
He was like that, man.
So Hoop, like,
Right.
I mean, your mom lived like right across the street from the stadium. So Hoop, like,
Right.
anytime anybody came over and played, like he'd go play in the game, go change his clothes, and then come
And come back and be a spectator.
Wait a minute, and come back and watch, and then he's Dick by Town, or he's Howard Cosell. He's like, oh yeah, these dudes right here, they can play.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh yeah, wait a minute, that dude right there, he don't live in Lameda.
Right.
Him and his brother, they live on 111th Street.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so they live in the neighborhood.
Right.
And so it was at that point where, people start talking, and that's when we met Junior Salone.
Oh, y'all met Lil Junior.
Yeah.
We met Poop.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
dudes that
right.
was doing it.
And dudes that was doing it in Pop Warner, even though these dudes stayed the same size as
Right.
they was when they was in Pop Warner.
Yeah.
But these dudes wanted to know, like, hey, look, yeah, we're gonna go over there. So they would come over with
Who the best
him.
guys? Yeah.
And Daryl Gordon played football at that
Yeah.
time
And
too.
he-
Daryl played
and
football?
Man,
He was on my team.
yeah. But he was across the street,
Played with
3
Lucky,
houses
too.
to the left.
Yeah.
Across the street, 3 houses
Right.
down.
Right.
That's it.
So-
Across the street, 3 houses down.
dudes, I mean, we would play on the front grass.
Right.
So
I remember them days.
Dudes want to know, like, hey, look, I want to see if I can run him over. I mean, so it's not even a real football game.
That's what it's always about. Running somebody.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to
over.
run him over.
Because you couldn't do it in the street, because it's
Of course
tough.
not. No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you get in the street, and that's where I think it came down to. We took these blocks and we moved them over to Morningside.
Yeah.
We took the games to Morningside.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger field.
Yeah.
A lot of space.
A lot of space. People bringing their water and oranges like Pop Warner.
I think
Having
100
halftime
I think
and all that.
104th was the champs.
I don't think nobody. See, the Motons
We
never went that
didn't
far.
I don't think they ever.
We
I
never-
don't think nobody beat them
See, but you-
more than.
Then nobody.
But I don't know that.
See, they didn't make it that far
disrespect
down
to
there.
them.
110th was pretty good
The
too.
nine was tight.
Yeah, well, they had Lavander. They had.
we
And then
battled
they had
them.
my man.
What was our guy?
With the Sarah.
Wait a minute, no.
Larry.
No, they
Larry.
No,
They had Larry.
But they had Larry.
Remember him?
He
He
was
had
like-
Larry all on the other end.
Larry was
Yeah.
like 37. playing.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he seemed like he was a grown man.
He looked like that, but he wasn't.
Right.
He was
I'm
actually.
talking that talk, but you know what I'm saying.
He was good.
We were 12 years
Yeah,
old, and
Larry
Larry
was
was shaving before the game.
Oh, y'all crazy.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Salute
Larry
him.
always looked like a grown man.
Yeah. I think that, just being able to play, And we had, I mean, every team had dudes that couldn't play. We had DJ Mike T on the team.
Oh,
Mike
yeah.
was
It's
one of
okay.
the most
Don't do
wanted.
Mike like that.
Yeah.
No.
I remember Mike.
But
He lived right down.
he wasn't an athlete.
Yeah, but I mean, but you walking
No.
in here with
He
you know,
played
you're
on
trying
the
to
team
put
on one
11.
side.
You're
Yeah.
trying to put
No,
11
but what
on the
I'm saying
field.
is that-
You're trying to put 11.
Yeah.
So you can play a real
Right.
game.
So you
Yeah.
have
And
right.
and
So
you
you have
talking
a-
So you had the players.
So you know you're gonna have some guys that wasn't the guys that were stars,
Right.
Either with the Inglewood Sentinels
gotta-
or the Comanches.
But
or
you got to make a
whoever,
team.
you know
So let
what
me
I'm
put him
saying?
on the roster.
Yeah, but we need 11.
Everybody,
Right.
yeah, everybody on your block wanted to play.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And he wanted to play. He actually played at Morningside. He played on the far south team. So did his brother. Even though
Mike T.
Little
Yeah.
I
bats.
remember that.
Little bats.
Right.
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
I remember
my
that.
Yeah, no
dad.
matter.
Dean bats.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
See, but you don't remember him because I mean,
He wasn't like a standout.
he
like
he
that.
wasn't a standout
Right.
dude, but he was a solid dude, and he was like,
Yeah.
I'm a part of this family, so I'm gonna get out there because I did this when we was playing on the
Right,
street.
right,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Another thing that really comes to my mind is the experiences that we had just in the city. I don't think there were any surrounding communities that was like Inglewood. And I say that because we all had this name recognition and we had this camaraderie. Because the city was just full of great talent.
Oh man.
I mean, it was, right?
Right.
So with that being said, was there anybody that, was, influential? And I know your parents were, but were there anyone that you knew of in the Inglewood community that influenced you as a student athlete?
I know you always talked about Blue a lot. You know what I mean? And I was little, so it was hard for me to connect to,
Right. Yeah.
and the disconnect to that athletic thing was that we were outside the city when we did athletics. You know what I mean? So we're in Lomita, so we looked up the
remember.
That was
guys
killing,
that
though.
we looked up the guys that were playing junior band and,
I remember.
and the midget guys. These guys are killers. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? These are our dudes. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so when we saw our friends, like, yeah, we want to see y'all. We
Yeah.
want to see the Apaches. We want to see.
No, I
you know what I
remember.
mean? I don't remember all the names, the Seminoles and
No, I remember.
you know what I mean,
Right,
and those guys. So I did personally, and see, his memory's probably similar to yours, man. He remembers everything. Is that I didn't really have a lot of idols that really kind of came out of Inglewood, that were grown out of Inglewood,
Right.
except for the guys you know in the streets. You know what I mean? These are the guys that we played with. So you were like, hey, this is the dude I'm next to.
Yeah.
And I didn't really go to a lot of games in the beginning and things that way. I don't know if it was just my personal commitment to
Right.
trying to figure it out. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was so many great guys. I mean, like we talk about, you go to Center Park, you playing football, but not to get off track, but you talk about that basketball court. How you get on that court? How you get on that main court?
It was
Right.
stacked.
Yeah.
They ain't picking you, dog.
No, no, they not.
That aluminum making all that goddamn noise.
Yeah.
Can I say
You
that?
say
all
it.
that noise, boom, you hear
No,
that, they
no.
tapping it and sound like somebody just slammed,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
something, and you couldn't do it because
Big money.
Athletes was big in Inglewood,
Yeah,
so it wasn't. There were so many guys out there that could do it. It was crazy. Now to look at the student athlete, I don't remember seeing these guys at least from that lower level that being a middle school guy that were excelling both athletically and academically. But man, there was dudes out there that was doing it. It's just that you'll probably have a better perspective. But I mean, there's a ton of dudes I looked up. Man, those guys was out there.
Rolling
Showing
Tatum
us.
was a
I
excellent-
love Rolling
He was an
Tatum.
excellent student.
Love Rolling Tatum, man.
He was a fantastic student athlete.
It's hard to talk about Rolling Tatum.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, he was.
I mean, that dude knows my wife. He knows my daughter. That dude.
He was
Right.
just a different. He was
I got a
different
picture of, but I got
He
a
was
picture
just
of him in my
he was a
crib.
man.
Really?
He
In my
was-
crib, that dude.
He
I
encouraged me.
I bought his autograph. Like
Yep.
I looked up some pictures
Really?
and I bought his autograph. Like when he was going back to Ohio State, he was such a big star out there. Like
Yeah.
when he'll go back once a year to a game,
Right.
and they would actually just pay him just to sign a
Really?
picture.
Really?
Humble
Dope.
giant.
And the guy, I saw him online after he passed away, and then I ended up buying me and Todd. a
Yeah,
picture.
that's the picture I speak.
I mean,
yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But he was one of the dudes. You got guys like Sutton. I mean, for me, like the big star. Even though I didn't play hoop, I always liked Byron Scott.
Yeah.
Like somebody took me to a
He was
game
special,
when I was a
yeah.
young dude, and I watched them play.
He was special.
And he made me want to play basketball, even though I was terrible.
Right.
I mean,
You were.
you know.
That's how you were.
Yeah, no, I mean,
At
but
least he admitted it.
yeah, I
That just wasn't your sport.
He was good at other stuff now. We know that.
But I'll tell you this though, you know, but that was a time where it didn't matter where. You know, I mean, if you were a good athlete,
Right.
you was cool with kind of sitting on the bench and playing
Right.
and watching other dudes play. Like
Right.
Daryl Gordon, like I said, he played football, but you know,
He was a basketball.
he was a basketball guy.
He knew that wasn't his sport.
He knew it wasn't a sport.
But,
You know,
but in our community, you was gonna sit the bench and be a good guy, right? Because that's how the
That was
athletes
community,
were. I mean,
yeah.
no,
Those
no,
are,
because there was great athletes
Oh,
in there,
yeah.
not because
Oh,
you
yeah.
wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
It's because
Those dudes that-
Those guys that was
dudes
better.
just might be
See,
It was guys that was a little bit better.
see, I'm gonna get back to what Charlie Mack said in a previous episode. You would be willing to sit on the bench when you was younger because you didn't know what that was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You didn't know what sitting
You
on the
didn't
bench.
know.
Right,
You,
right.
it wasn't
You
a
didn't know you was
and-
sorry.
We called it oaking. You over there oaking.
Yeah, you didn't know you had to ride the pine.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean,
we never had to ride the pine.
Right.
Exactly.
You,
Exactly.
me, we never. So
Never
we don't
seen
know
it.
how that feels.
right.
And we couldn't comprehend what it meant either
Yeah.
when we was younger. We just was all having fun.
See, but
Yeah.
here's
Yes,
the
sir.
other thing. Our parents never went to a coach and was like, "You need to play my son."
Yeah.
My
to.
kid
Never, man.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't have
They
to.
didn't have to.
No, they
But
didn't
they
have
didn't-
to. But
I know parents who did.
yeah, see,
Yeah,
but
but ours
just
wasn't
watched
like
him.
that.
yeah, see, but it wasn't an issue.
Right.
For like my father, like he coached us when we played Pop Warner, but he never talked to Coach Hall. He never
Never
said
talked to
nothing to
Coach
Coach
Tatum.
Tatum.
Right. Right.
He thanked the dude that signed me that came to my house.
Right.
Yeah.
He never spoke to Erickson, and he never said a word to Price when I was up at Washington State. He never said nothing to none of them dudes about me playing.
Right.
Because that's not, he always felt that was my responsibility.
Right.
They're not going to put you on the bench if you can play.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
and because
That part.
you shouldn't have brought this up, Chris, but I'm gonna bring it up. And this is a funny story. This is a true story, and you brought his name up about 20 minutes ago, Demetrius Belt. But I gotta tell this story, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta tell this story.
Wait a minute, hold on. I think I know what it is.
I know,
don't wanna
you guys don't know this story. You trust me, because me. Basically, I got to keep it 100. This show about keeping it 100, right, Cam?
Mhm.
Right.
Don't we keep it 100 in?
You have to.
Okay, look, I got to keep it 100. Demetrius was sorry. When we was little kids playing, we was on the Cherokees.
Yeah.
He wasn't a good player.
Yeah.
But like you had said, his dad wanted him to play. And he was over there with splinters in his butt.
Right.
So one day in practice, his dad come over. His dad, rest in peace. I love him. Big Gene, shout out to Big Gene, rest in peace. I love his
Absolutely.
father.
Yes, sir.
Love his father. So Big Gene, this is when Big Gene was he was wound up too tight. He put really.
That was his life.
Oh, dude, he
Yeah.
would put hand.
We used to walk up there.
People
wound
didn't
up,
know
man.
that Big Gene,
Yeah.
like I knew. But anyway, so we had practice. So then Big Gene, he came over. Why you ain't playing my son? Well, Mr. Belt, blah, 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 blah. Man, within 2 seconds, man, Big Gene had the coach in the air like this.
No.
I'll kill you, little man. Little man, I'll kill you.
Right.
I swear to God. Ask Demetrius. True story. Had him up off the ground. The man's feet is off the ground. I'll kill you, little man. Because I'm telling you, Big Gene he kind of reminded me of Big Bill
Yeah.
from 108.
Right.
Yeah, Big Bill, come
Big
on.
Bill.
Big Bill's be
He wanna
popping
holler.
handcuffs
He wanna
every
holler. He
weekend.
wanna holler.
So,
Big
but
Bill, his props.
yeah, so that's the
Yes,
reason
sir.
why I had to bring up that story about Demetrius, because you mentioned his name and then you start talking about coaches talking to his dad, parents talking to coach. Oh man, he had him up off the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Big Gene, rest in peace, Big Gene. I love you, Big Gene.
Hey, I love him too, but
Yes, sir.
I'm going to tell you this. As long as I've known him, I've never been in their house before.
Never.
Oh yeah, he ain't letting nobody in there.
Yeah, open the garage.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, you ain't going in the
You been in
house?
the garage? Yeah.
I didn't look.
You
I
been in
didn't.
the garage? Close, right?
Close.
Close.
I think-
they roll the garage in the
I think the only person that was allowed in
Yeah.
that house was Lil Rodney.
Right.
because he right across the street.
Yeah.
Damn
So
near.
it was
And
like
Dar-
Lil
and
Rodney.
Darnell.
Yeah, it was Lil
Yeah.
Rodney, Robin Brown, and her brother,
And
and,
Darnell.
and,
You right,
and they
man.
were like,
Lil
know,
D.
I
Dina's
never
brother.
think, man, I never
Right.
thought about going in there.
He was.
That's
What, they were
crazy.
cousins though, right?
no, people thought they were cousins.
Okay,
They
okay.
were, they were
Rodney
so
and
close.
Robin?
No, they just were so
Lil
close.
Dina
Okay.
and Darnell.
Oh.
Darnell
Yeah, they was
played
brothers.
Darnell played
Brother and
with me.
sister.
That brother.
No, I said I thought Darnell was related to Demetri.
No, they just was all like on the block together.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't go in that house until my daughter started going to preschool.
I don't remember going in either. You know what I mean? When he said,
Hey,
the
I
garage got
remember
rolled
that.
up. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, love Boo Boo. Shout out to Boo Boo. Love you to death. You know, she's
Keep up.
one of the best.
I'll let you too.
Let me tell you something. Because of Boo Boo, all them little kids that went to your preschool, she made them better, dude. I'm telling you, she had them reading at 3 years old. She had, I mean, she was. Shout out to Boo Boo. I love you.